Good morning, children. Welcome back to our EVS class. Hope you all are doing fine with your studies, isn't it? Are you all studying? Okay, very good. Now, let us recap what we have learned in our previous lectures. Okay, now we have seen different types of animals, sounds and movements of different animals, homes, that is, habitat of different animals, and food habits of different animals. So, today we are going to see why these animals are important for us. Do you know? So, let us move further and see. Now, before that, I would like to tell you a sweet, nice story. Okay, the story of the Queen's Garden. There was a queen living in her kingdom, and she loved her plants, trees. She had mango trees, she had banana trees, and she has many more. So, when one day when she visited her garden, she was sitting on a bench, and what did she see? She see that mangoes are very low. So she was talking to her gardener. So the gardener has bought mangoes from the queen's garden, and he's showing, see, there are so beautiful mangoes. The gardener was saying, so many mangoes, good, the queen replied. Then the gardener said, Your Majesty, there would have been double the amount of the birds had not eaten them. Means what he was telling her, that there were many birds on the trees, that's why the mangoes are very less this year. So the queen is saying, What did you say? The birds have eaten the mangoes. Why did you allow the birds into the garden? She was angry and she said that, Why did you allow the birds in the garden? So what did gardener replied? Please forgive me, I will not let any bird come into the garden. Now he was scared. So he said that. So next, this is scene 1. Now after many days, what happened? Fewer mangoes than last year. Why did you not stop the birds from entering the garden? Now what happened? Next year when the mangoes were coming, the gardener had tried to stop the birds to enter the garden. So this year even there are lesser and fewer mangoes than last year. So why is it so? Now Queen is very angry. I stopped them, Your Majesty. I did not let a single bird enter. But this year, insects have eaten the mangoes. What do you mean by this? So, the conclusion is, as he did not allow the birds to enter the garden, the birds could not eat insects, and the insects' attack on mango was more. So, there is interdependence between these things. Now, if birds will not come, they will not eat insects. Okay, if insects will not come, then bird will not live. And if birds will not live, they will not be able to carry seeds from one place to another of different fruits and vegetables. Isn't it? When bird fly, they eat seed, and if they get seed on one place, they carry that seeds to another place, and then how it is called dispersal of seeds. Okay, now what did queen replied? Okay, this was the matter. So, if there had been birds, then they would have eaten the insects. We would not have lost so many mangoes. So, now Queen also understood that you have to let them come inside, but you have to take care of your plants too. Okay, so this was the story. So, next we will see what is interdependence of living things between non-living things, plants and animals. We all are dependent on each other. Okay, animals eat grass, few animals eat other animals. We eat vegetables, fruits which we need. Okay, so how we all are related to each other, that we are going to see further. Interdependence of living things on environment. Why do we need these animals? Why do we need these plants? Why they need us as a human being? All things come to one conclusion that we will see now. Let us watch a video. Okay.
Interdependence between living things. Interdependence. Interdependence is a term that indicates the relationship between things. Plants and animals depend on each other as well as on non-living things like water, sunlight, and air to survive on Earth. Interdependence between plants and animals. Plants release oxygen in the air during the process of photosynthesis.
Now, what is photosynthesis? Yes, photosynthesis is a process in which plants prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight, air and water. It is known as photosynthesis.
Plants produce the food that animals eat. Plants play an important role in the formation of clouds and rain through the process of transpiration.
Now, what does transpiration means? It is new word for you all. You know evaporation, we have done in class 2 that any water evaporating due to heat of sun, that is called evaporation. Okay, in the same way plants also lose water from them, which is known as transpiration because of sunlight. Okay, understood? Much clear? Very good.
Plants offer shelter to birds, lizards, and insects that build their homes in trees. Deer and small animals sleep and hide in thick bushes. Animals help plants in the dispersal of their seeds. Decomposers break down the dead and decaying organic remains of plants and animals into simpler chemical forms that mixes with the soil. Plants and animals live in a physical environment which is characterized by water, soil, sunlight, etc. The living components, plants and animals, depend on each other as well as on the non-living components for various reasons such as nutrients, shelter, pollination, dispersal, etc. This complete unit with interdependent components is known as natural community. The top layer of the soil is a perfect example of a natural community. Soil is made up of broken down non-living things like stones together with the dead and decaying remains of plants and animals. This organic part of soil is called humus. The fertile humus is absorbed by the roots of the plants as nutrients for making food. Earthworms living in the soil help to keep it aerated. There can be about 2 million earthworms in a single acre of field. Photosynthesis in plants. Plants prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means to make. Plants are green due to the presence of a substance called chlorophyll. The sunlight is trapped by chlorophyll. Water and nutrients are absorbed by the roots from the soil, and the carbon dioxide from the air is taken through the stomata on the leaves. This helps the plant in making food. The equation of photosynthesis is plants plus carbon dioxide plus water with sunlight gives food plus oxygen. Transportation of food in plants.
Now why I am showing you this video, now you might have understood photosynthesis. It shows you that interdependence between non-living thing and living thing. Now sun, water, they are non-living thing but they are natural. So how these are helping each other, that was there in this video, means the previous part of photosynthesis. Now transportations of food in plants, how does it happen? Now we have to see that soil is non-living thing, but how non-living thing is helpful to a plant for its growth is shown here.
Plants that have a duct system for transportation of water and minerals from the roots and food from the leaves to other parts of the plants are called vascular plants. The two ducts present in plants are xylem and phloem. Latin word vascular means duct. Living things respire by taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide into the air.
Now see, we human beings and animals, we breathe oxygen which is released by plants, and plants breathe in carbon dioxide which is released by human beings and animals. So, and oxygen is very important for us, isn't it? So that's why how we both are interrelated to each other. Animals to plants, plants to animals, animals, plants to human beings also.
Plants utilize the carbon dioxide in the air through photosynthesis, giving out oxygen. Plants make their own food and are called autotrophs. Animals depend on plants and other animals for food and are called heterotrophs.
These words like heterotrophs, autotrophs, xylem, that all words are not necessary for you to learn now. Only the concept behind the video is that how we are interdependent to each other is the thing to show. Don't get confused.
Animals that consume plants are called herbivores or primary consumers. Secondary consumers or carnivores are animals that feed on herbivores. Scavengers or the tertiary consumers are animals that feed on the food left by carnivores. Decomposers are organisms that break down dead plants and animals into simple forms. Let us understand how energy flows in a food chain. A food chain is a series of organisms where each one is the food of the next one in the chain. It always begins with a plant and ends with decomposers.
Now here in this video you can see, as the video says, the series of organisms where each one is a food of the next one in the chain. Suppose now here they have given producers like plant. Plant is eaten by a grasshopper. Grasshopper is eaten by a frog. Frog is eaten by a snake, and when snake dies it is eaten by hyena, and then hyena, once it is dead, it will decompose in the soil and then later on again the soil will help a plant to grow. This is the way how food chain continues. Now we will take another example. Suppose it has to start by plant. Okay, so now goat eats plant. Goat is eaten by what? Yes, tiger, lion, etc. Now again lion, when it dies, it will decompose in soil. So this is another example which I have put forth in front of you. Okay, now moving further.
Influence of man on the environment. Man has adversely affected the environment through his reckless activities. Of these, deforestation is of major concern.
Now deforestation means cutting down of trees and plants. See, you can see human beings, we all cut down the plants, trees, and we are shortage of trees. And if trees are less, what will happen? We will get less oxygen, and which will be very harmful for us. So how we are influenced to the environment, that this video is showing.
Deforestation is the removal of a forest area or trees for converting the land for commercial use. Man has raised out forest land to make space for factories, industries, and human settlement. The adverse effects of deforestation are altered rain pattern and reduced rainfall, increase in temperatures globally, desertification of land due to increased soil erosion, increased calamities like flash floods and landslides. People are now realizing the importance of forests and the need to plant more trees. A lot of work is being done in this direction.
Okay, moving further, now this is the page from your textbook. We have to solve this page. Okay, now we will see what are the answers, and you have to do it in your textbook as an assignment. Okay, as an assignment, sorry. Now, who eats what? Match the drawing lines of different colors. One example is shown. Now, goat eats grass, it can eat chapatis, it eats fruits, vegetables, isn't it? Now, next one will go to lizard. Now, lizard eats what? Yes, it eats mosquito, it eats an ant. Okay, now snake we will go through. Now, snake eats rat, it may eat sparrow also, yes, correct. Now, next one sparrow. Sparrow eats fruit seed and maybe vegetables also. Okay, now next one we can see human beings. What does a human being eat? It eats chapati, fruits, vegetables. Some of the human beings eat goat also. Okay, so this page, did you understand? Now you have to solve this page in your textbook as an assignment. Now this is the food chain. Previous video you have seen what is about food chain, and the food chain starts with producer, that is plants. Okay, now here plants are growing with the help of sun, water. Then this plant is eaten by again grasshopper, frog, snake, eagle, and then eagle, when it dies, it decomposes into the soil. This is like a chain that plants and animals form in nature. So we all are related to or dependent to each other. A plant is always at the beginning of a food chain, thus all animals depends on plants. Even we depends on plants. Just imagine if we don't have any vegetable products in our house. Whenever you start making sabzi, you require plants, isn't it? So we are dependent on them. Okay, I hope you all have understood the concept of interdependence of living things on environment. Thank you for attending the lecture and have a nice day.